Yeah, we got a lot of views with the interview we did with Carla Wagner a few
Who's running for
for
governor?
running for governor about specifically about the property tax in Michigan. And I mean, if you haven't listened to it, I'd really recommend going to listen to all the shorts, listen to the full interview because it's on All Points TV and on Rumble as well, on All Points TV on Rumble and YouTube. Really,
And
it
it's
really covers
also on Flint Talk.
Flint Talk, and it's. I mean, it's really she covered a lot of ground, people, and I don't want to. I'm gonna. We can't do it justice, but anyway, we're gonna pick up from there. So, what people are gonna say though, as soon as you talk about cutting property tax, well, where are you gonna find the funding for all these these programs we have?
Well, it would become more fair because what will happen is we'll have to raise the sales tax in the state of Michigan. That'd be part of
Right.
making up for it, and property owners will still be can still pay part of it by paying a land tax or land value tax,
Mhm.
meaning only have to pay for the plot of dirt that your house is setting on. So that's what you'll be paying for is the lot
Mhm.
and not the square footage of your home.
Because see,
So that's also makes it more fair because everybody's paying the same.
yeah, that's another thing is too, is just by the size of the lot or whatever it's gonna be, and another thing is too, I remember people years ago, they didn't keep the outside of their houses up because as soon as they did, they
Right.
got a valuation jumped up, and they couldn't afford it.
Well, that's not always true either. You can have a house that's not well kept up. It's still you're still going to have the same amount of footage,
Right.
a square footage, and that's how you're taxed is on the square footage of your home.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't say it's really hard to come up with I would say few people
I
too is
think
if you
it's more than fair. I
yeah,
mean, look, I would rather pay for the dirt that my house sets on than the square footage of my home.
yeah, yeah,
And if everybody's doing it, it's fair. Everybody's paying the same. It's a socialist dream.
yeah,
And then the sales tax being raised, then everybody's paying the same again. Nobody's better than anyone else. You can still have those millionaire taxes if that's what you want on top of this, but what I'm saying for the little guy like me and you, it would be a great relief.
yeah. I remember, there's a good to bringing this up. I remember there was a guy in the 1800s and 1900s talked about a single tax on the land. That's how he wanted to raise it. I can't remember the guy's name or specifics. I'm going to have to do investigation on that to
But
maybe come back in the next
but
session.
there's other ways. There's the sales tax, income tax that we're already paying. Raise that on everyone. Again, that's more fee, and then user fees on different things. Like okay, so you're no longer paying. Everybody's going to pay for the park system
Mhm.
by by paying to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of charging a homeowner millages for that park system and then having to pay to get in on top of that.
Yeah. It seems like
Does
it's
that
a
make
no,
sense?
because even if you like here at the Capitol Theater, they have a tax on that they allowed a tax on or millage on us for
Right,
that. And
right,
even if you don't go there, you're still
but
paying
all
for
these
it.
millages would be gone.
Right.
They would be gone.
Right.
No more.
And and there's some things I don't think are going to be able to.
Well, what would happen is a lot of things would go to the wayside because okay, how many times you've been to the McCree Theater? Okay?
Yeah. No.
Never,
Right.
ever in your lifetime, right?
Right. No, I can't recall that.
Yes, there's some people that go there and some people that love it, but why should you and I have to pay for that theater?
Right. They should just go if the users of it, the people who enjoy it, they pay
They
for it.
pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I don't that's what I think about I value about art. I don't like a problem with subsidizing art on the federal level, like I'm down with the arts and stuff, is because if it's a person who's an artist who's got a
But
niche, they should
then
develop on
but
their
we
own.
want those things in the we want thinkers, we want painters. I think it's a good thing that we do have the endowment for the arts,
But it's like as long as
but it
it's
shouldn't be hoity-toity. It should be at the local level. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
shouldn't have to go to New York to enjoy it.
yeah, it should be more local. I mean, like they try here. I mean, they have done that. So I mean, as much as I have issues, at least it's under control. You can keep on voting for it if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, if you find no use for it, you ignore it. I mean, I don't know. The taxes are it's very hard to find somebody come up on
I
a tax.
don't enjoy paying taxes, and I know
No,
you
no.
don't.
I mean, but it's like I'm saying, it's very hard for to come across a tax scheme where everybody's gonna be on board with it
I
because
mean, okay, how many seniors have you seen or people going into retirement and, oh, they're so happy that their house is paid off, and then they realize that they have to pay that that tax that they never really. I mean, they knew they were paying it, but they didn't know it was that high.
Right, and then also then like
I
some
I just looked at a mutual friend. He's paying like $4,000 in taxes a year for his property.
yeah, I had a friend that lived out in the Sports Creek area. He had a he paid the highest
Right.
taxes in
But
that
he
area.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
no, he
He
didn't
didn't.
know.
I mean, he knew it, but he didn't know it. If you know what I mean, he didn't realize it until now. He has to pay it out of his own pocket because
Right.
his house is paid up. And oh, by the way, he got reassessed,
Yeah.
and his house value went up another $2,500,
So it means
which means that now he's going to even be paying more in taxes next year,
yeah, there's
and he's on a fixed income.
and it's always going to taxes are always going to go up. Taxes are always going to go up. Other things go up. That's an
But
it's
then we seen that school board when people were complaining and saying, your tax is too high. Somehow they had millage that they wanted to raise, and the person on the board looked at the people and said, "If you don't like it, move."
oh, that's yeah, that's not a that's not a good attitude for anybody in that role to do that. No, I mean, what an arrogant attitude. I mean, it's that's galling. It really is. I mean, yeah, just move. Yeah, just that easy. Move. Yeah.
Right, but I think it's time. We got to reevaluate our system, and especially in this state. I mean, Ohio's trying to get rid of. They've got it on the ballot to get rid of their sales tax, not sales tax, but property tax.
What do you think of the possibility of that happening in Michigan though? Because it seems like we would have like more resistance against it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about
The
Ohio.
more people that find out about it, the more pressure there's going to be on politicians. And what do politicians do?
Yeah.
Lick their fingers, stick it up in the air, and if there are enough people, they feel enough people are going to go that way, they'll do it.
And then from that, you just next voting round, you get rid of that person that doesn't listen. Or is not so eager
I
to do it.
mean, good or bad, what's happening is the older people are thinning out. They're
Right.
they're dying. The people that keep on voting Democrat or you know what I mean? They keep on voting blue
Mhm.
because that's the way they're going to do. The younger people are actually they've got their phones. They evaluate people more than anyone. They're not voting. The How many times have you seen those voter cards? The people around here going into the voting booth with
I haven't seen
the,
that.
the
Mhm.
from the UAW.
The ODW used to be. Yeah, the U. Yeah, that was a
No,
big
that's
thing.
still a thing.
Yeah.
They send them out, and these people take them in there, and they match them up, and that's how they vote.
That's
The blue hairs,
how about
if you watch them.
and that's one good thing, I guess, in a way, the diminishing of the power of the union and the membership is now allow us to actually have some challenges to that status quo. Because I mean, I remember that was a religion. I
But
mean,
it's mostly the blue hairs and the old guys that are still doing that. And they actually I seen them hand the cards to one another because they forgot their card.
yeah, but I always thought it was more like a religious observance than it was actually being evaluated. What's this candidate say for me or
I
what they
mean,
back?
but don't you? I mean, I try to find out who I'm voting
Yeah,
for.
but they just took the unions. They took the unions word for that.
And good or bad, you can bust on me if you want to. I voted for Gretchen Whitmer the first time around just because I wasn't going to vote for Schuette.
Yeah, I know.
It was a vote against him.
Yeah, and then
But how many other people did that too?
yeah, I mean, now I remember one time I was passing out flyers for
But
my friend.
didn't she seem like she was gonna be good? I
Well,
mean, her campaign and
we're better than
everything the
Schuette.
first time around?
I wasn't impressed by Schuette. I
No,
mean,
I don't think anybody
I've ran
was.
into a different things back over the course of years. I was never impressed by the man.
And they're always trying to force people on
Well,
us.
yeah, I mean that's a huge thing.
Like, already they're saying it's a three-way race. What is her name? Dana Nessel? No, what is her name? I forget what her name is, I'm sorry. The AG
Attorney,
on the
that's Dana
Democrat
Nessel.
side.
That's Dana Nessel. Yeah.
Okay, and then, John James on the Republican side, and then, Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
Is it Jim Duggan?
Duggan Dugan. Yeah. He's the former mayor of Detroit, right?
Yeah, and he did it. Well, matter of fact, I seen a poll today where he's ahead.
Yeah, see, I prefer if I mean I would like to see Carl Wagner and get in there.
But people
running.
don't even know. That's the shame about it. People don't know about there's like 7 candidates.
Yeah, but yeah, what they're like
that they don't know about.
I mean, yeah, that's what actually Henry Hatter was in here today earlier, and he brought that up. He and I had a private conversation talking about you don't get to see all the candidates. You don't get they don't they're
No,
not
you don't
invited
get
to
to
the
get them on
forums.
stage. We were talking about that too, that maybe they should think about getting together as the less popular candidates and
Mhm,
have instead of having a debate, have a discussion, and each one of them bring in, depending on how many show up, if they all show up and they get one topic that they get to talk about, the
mhm.
and they all just discuss these things rather than go after one another.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, maybe we could ask people who are listening to this, what would your thought of that? Would you welcome something like that?
Well,
Seeing that?
the way that I think it would be is that they would have this discussion and then people would see it. And if they really said something good, maybe it would go viral. And if they didn't get elected, maybe these ideas would be forced on the people, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they find out the people want it, they're politicians, like the property tax. I'm sure that would be a big thing in the discussion that all the candidates could agree on.
Yeah, that's like they serve the purpose of the third party candidates. Basically, they introduce ideas that they might not get in, but the other people pick up
That's
on.
what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying.
that's a good idea. I mean, yeah, I mean, would I wonder if people out there would weigh in on that? Would they welcome that something like that? Like to see something like that on,
How could they not?
yeah, I think because you're just getting pro offer all these. Well, here's what we find. This party likes this party, the guy. This party likes this person.
Well,
You
that's
got to
where we
take
gotta
choose between the
stop with
two
this party nonsense.
because it doesn't.
The people are so vehement, yeah, and oh my god, they hate Trump so much. They hate Trump and they hate Whitmer. I've learned that with Flintock.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, let's face it. I mean, look at John Fetterman. I mean, some things I don't agree with him, but there's some things and he's a Democrat, and I think he's going to have to
I
switch
think he's
parties.
great.
I do too. A lot of things I really like. I agree with him. It's like I'm
Well,
astonished.
he's like the guy in the room that this he's quiet and he looks back and forth and he listens to both sides, and then he comes up with a good idea.
He's angry in the Democratic Party. I know that he's got to be. There could probably.
Well,
chop
he's
that
the
to
only
bit.
Democrat that shook Trump's hand after the State of the Union.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. I mean, it's like
But that's the way they want to seem. They want to have that split. Wait, they can't work if there's a split.
no, we can't. And this country can't work if there's a more
And if
division.
they're split, what do they expect the rest of us
Well,
to
that's
be?
that's the reason why they're doing that for. They want us to be more polarized.
But we're not. We're coming together more and more. They're being a conglomerate rather. Most people don't care if the person's got a good idea. They're going to get behind it.
Well, it's like they.
Like, I'll give you an example. Anthony Hudson.
Mhm.
There's so many people behind that dude. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, they're fiercely loyal to him, even though he's
That's fine.
yeah.
I'm happy that he's got that kind of commitment.
I mean,
And that means that what he says, these things that he's been saying, they're going to have to take note of it if they want those voters. Supposedly, if there is a three-way race
yeah.
right now and Hudson's now in there, they're going to have to take those ideas if they want those voters.
That's like I said. That's what they're doing.
Especially the Democrat. I mean, the Republican, because I'm sure that's where these voters would go.
Yeah, they're more comfortable within that, within that
I
party.
would
Yeah,
think.
yeah, because of limited taxes, limited government, and that's what Hudson says some
But
to
that's
the degree of.
but what I'm saying is you people may not like him, but his ideas are going to go forward. He's got a base, whether people want to admit it or not.
And yeah, and some people's ideas will they gain ground, they become accepted, and then they're forgotten. They're forgotten, and that's the
And
reality.
he's
of the
not
political
going to be
system.
forgotten because he's Anthony
Yeah,
Hudson.
he's going to be back there for
He's
something
going to be
else,
there the whole time on their ass.
right? It's interesting. Some people, like I said, are annoying. If you individually meet them,
I
you
know.
might not
I'm
like
not
them.
saying he's annoying. He's annoying. I'm just saying this. They flat out don't like him in the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a very
I
elite
mean,
group.
did you watch? He didn't really make threats. He just said things like, "You better watch out." You know what I mean? Things
Just
that you
average
say.
person, the average
The
person would
average
say.
person in a conversation, and the Republican Party took it as threats so they could get some traction, I guess.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, they just use any excuse
Well,
to distance
you've been
themselves.
there.
Oh yeah,
They're a bunch of blue-haired old people too that are unwilling to change, and the biggest thing they look forward to. I call it the Lincoln Log Dinner.
Yeah, that's basically that's a
That's all they look forward to is their Lincoln dinner every year.
especially in Genesee County, the Republican Party is just
It's
it's
a
exists.
joke.
It's a joke in the name. It's a name only, but yeah, it's not going to change either. I don't see that. I've been around it 30 some years. I've been looking at it, and it hasn't changed
No.
yet. I mean, it really has. When
I
I was in
mean, but I'm
college.
saying you look at them, they're a bunch of no-no and Samaritans. They're so old they have to say no to everything because it can kill them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just politics. Though, it's so in this area.
But I mean, think about it. How much time did we spend covering politics
I mean, in this is at the studio.
out of the last 20, 26 years?
If you add up all the time, or at least 8 years of it, yeah,
Maybe 10.
yeah, 8 or 10.
But
years.
we're sick of it now.
Yeah, because I mean, that's another thing is too. The more you go in with this idea that you can actually affect change, then you see the people get up behind these other
Because
people, and then
they
it
blow all
collapses.
this smoke. They're going to do all this stuff. And they don't know what they can do, especially if they're first time politicians.
Right, and
And then they get in there and find out they can't do anything that they said.
well, the Mondami's doing that in New York. He found he couldn't all the stuff, a lot of stuff he promised he can't have.
But
He
I
can't
think
make it happen.
he was smart enough to know that he couldn't do it.
But he promised it anyway, or
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, not exactly ethical, but I guess. But
Well, how many people have come in here and sat in this seat and said they're going to do all this stuff, and then they get in there? What's his name? He was your ward person, the young guy.
Santino,
Santos. How
Santino.
many times did when he came in, he said he was going to keep coming in, and we never heard from him again after he got elected. Remember?
And he turned out he resigned early in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't even carry out his full term. Now I guess he's a sheriff's deputy down in Oakland County. More lucrative.
But I'm just saying, we've had so many people come in here wolfing all this crap that they're going to do, and me and you are just rolling our eyes while they're saying it. I mean, they can't see us rolling our eyes because we're the ones interviewing them.
Yeah, I mean, if you, like I said, if we started some of the hopefulness, when after you've been doing this for a long time, you get so damn cynical and skeptical. I mean, it's like, and that's sad. I mean, you're saying, oh, okay, I've heard this before. You can basically mouth it as they go along,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've heard this. It's nothing new. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, the cynicism, they say we shouldn't be so cynical. Stop being so predictable, But anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on in the country, though, man. Since we started the talk last time, I mean, it's like, of course, we mentioned it briefly. The war we started bombing along with Israel. We started bombing Iran, so which I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see.
I don't think anybody does because it's going to make natural gas prices go up. It's going to make gas prices go up. The uncertainty and everything,
Right.
food, everything is going to go up because of this. And we're going to be feeling the repercussions of this as a gray tax, as I
Right.
call it, for the next probably 6 months to a year.
Right.
It's going to take to recover from this. That we're going to everything that this president says that he's been doing for this country
Is undone.
just went down the drain, as far as I'm concerned.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know why I heard his speech.
Well, I mean, economically.
Definitely. I mean, everybody always tells me though, war is always about money, and you make a lot of money in wars, and
No, you
that's
don't.
not true.
If you're an investor and you're investing in the companies, if you knew the companies that were going to make money from this war,
Yeah, but the average person, no, you're screwed. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of your eventually going to lose some of your
people
rights.
could lose their jobs because of uncertainty.
Oh, yeah.
The companies that were going to hire more people may be cutting back now because of uncertainty. Especially, they're saying this war is going to go on for weeks, if not months.
It's going to be longer than that. I'm afraid of that's far longer than that. Has anything been resolved easily, quick in the Middle East? No, I haven't seen.
Never, ever. I
Never.
mean, never even. I mean, look, we went to Afghanistan after Russia just pulled out
Right.
because they tried, and they said their advisors told us not to do it.
But who did we listen to? We didn't listen to them.
No. But they went in and they got their butt beat.
Now they got all kinds of choice thanks to Biden pulling out so abruptly and so his disgusting withdrawal that he did.
Yeah, but who put us there? Biden didn't.
No.
So ultimately, it was baby Bush's fault.
Yep. Because the Bush family loved war. They love going over there. They love the nation building crap. I had a friend actually was over in Afghanistan helping them try to establish Air Force. you know, and all that work and all that money has gone down the tubes right now, billions of dollars. I mean, underestimate. We will never know the full amount
But
with that
think about
behind.
what about the people that are getting rich from it right now?
God, amazing amount of money. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is. I can wonder how much she's making off of this because she's helped push through this stuff. Oh wait, did she leave office already?
I don't know or
I
care.
don't think
I
she's.
don't. Like I said, I'm not following it like I was before. I have no interest anymore.
It's like it's hard to detach yourself from it, isn't it?
No,
So you
you
got
just
just the
don't
point.
watch it. What? Why? Why? Because all it is one person's trying to say you're supposed to be against this other person.
Yeah, it's like you got to hate him. No, you got to hate him. You got to hate
Yeah,
him. You got to no.
I
I don't
don't
need.
need to watch that. I'd rather watch dumb YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather watch. I'm watching this guy talk about his haunted house.
Yeah,
Yeah, and build up. It's on. Oh, what's his name?
Elm Street.
No, no. It's just like what is it? Like it's on Facebook. Yeah, he's like he's talking about this and he's showing the attic door, the thing he's going with
Yeah.
pull down thing, shaking and stuff. I'm intrigued by this because if he's doing it like he's got somebody doing it, and it's all a joke, then he's doing it damn well because you don't see anybody running off scene or anything. So it's pretty cool. And he's not editing it much.
Oh, so he's not doing the haunted house for Halloween.
No.
He says he
He
actually
lives in
lives
a
in
haunted house.
Oh,
But he's also a writer of like horror books.
oh,
I think it's what his last name is Mitchell. God, I mean, I got it like earmarked when I go to the Facebook, but I've been intrigued by that. Also, Mr. Ballen, Ballen. He used to be a SEAL team guy, and now he's like he's a great storyteller, and you never know he's going to tell like murder stories. He talked about one about Swanson's funeral home. And the guy he was going to scrap it, and the people were like, doing urban exploring. He went there to cut the cake. This guy was in there they discovered this guy who went in there to scrap, and inadvertently he had cut the cable to the car that they had to, lift up the coffins up to the second floor.
yeah.
And he got crushed under, and he was in there for like, God knows how long. And his cell phone was just out of reach, and so outside the cage that dropped in on him and crushed him. I mean, it was like this is that Swanson funeral.
But you would think that we would know about that.
Yeah, well, right here at Williams School, right down the road from here,
Yeah.
some guy went through to try to steal electrical by the electrical wiring and stuff. And there was a car parked on the parking lot for months, a couple of months. Finally, they went in there. They found this guy cut the wrong cable, got zapped, he got burned. His body was laying there for a couple of months. I mean, and this is right down the street from here. So I mean, it happens. But that happened. I never heard that story about Swanson. I was privy to that story because I saw them when they pulled the guy out. I didn't actually see the body, but the responding crew told us about it. But yeah, I mean, this kind of this Mr. McBall, it's a really interesting guy. I like to have his following, man. But stupid stories. I occupy my time with that because at least I'm enjoying it. What I'm seeing unfold right now, there's no damn thing I can do about the war in Iran.
They decided they're going to do it. They're going to do it. But what do you think about Cuba? Within the next couple of weeks, we could be running it.
It's like a.
But we're going to take it over economically also, so it's going to be a burden that way.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely because they got all their infrastructure is totally just outdated.
Well, what do you think about? I guess it's a good thing.
It might be a good thing. It's going to be more of a hassle for us, but you would have people in there resenting it, even though they're going to try to be a better life form. I mean, there's a woman up here at the store up there on the street. She's from Cuba. She's still got family there, and she just said they have all these blackouts the last days, and they got no power.
But we've got technology now that we can set up temporary power plants that can supplement things like that and keep it running.
That's one place where solar probably works, solar panels and stuff. Yeah,
but I mean, but with big generators, and off the shore from ships and different things that can help them out.
Could you imagine this? Pretty much like a time capsule from the 50s, late 50s or 60s.
I bet you, car enthusiasts are gonna. Those people will be rich because Americans will want to buy their old cars.
Yeah, but I'm probably in pretty good shape yet, some of them, because,
well, salt is always an enemy too,
Yeah,
as well as, I mean, that's what the enemy up here is, salt on the roads, salt from the ocean down there.
yeah,
And that's where a lot of people take their cars to Hawaii and then they bring them back and they rust out.
yeah. It's like, did you remember? If I remember the story correctly, when Castro, Fidel Castro died, his funeral procession, the vehicle he was in, his body was in, actually broke down. They had to get I think they had to get like a horse-drawn cart to carry him away or something. All I know is his vehicle broke down that he was in, and that just goes to show you. I mean, the lack of. And I can't imagine the hardship these people have had to undergo all those years. See, I always thought if we had actually just allowed naturalization of like what they call of relations with them, their economic pressure would on those people say, I don't want to be like everybody in the United States got this, we don't have this. I think they could have overthrown Fidel Castro if they had kept more economic
Oh,
ties.
I think there was other reasons. Come on, it's a tiny little island,
Right.
and if we wanted to go in there and do a Venezuela on it,
It could have done
we
that.
could have done that years ago.
So he just basically let him
Yeah,
sit to
I don't think they
you
wanted to.
basically it's like you wanted this, you got it. Let him have
I
it,
just
right?
don't think they cared. I mean, think about it. We've had a Marine base or naval base there for years and years.
Yeah, get Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, it's right on the I always thought it was gutsy as hell, ballsy as hell of us to have
We're
here's
probably paying them for it on top of it.
well, I'm
You
pretty sure
don't think
there
we
is.
were there for free?
No, I'm pretty sure we were paying it's the irony, we're not in relationship, but we're still paying you money
We're
for this
paying you
rent.
for yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that was ballsy as hell. I mean, I really do. But I always thought it was ballsy as hell as the British have Hong Kong right off the coast of China until like in the 90s sometime when they finally returned it, to the control back to Red China or, the communist China. I thought that was ballsy, man. I mean, you're sitting right off how many miles is it from Hong Kong to the
However
mainland?
long I don't think I don't even know the name of the bay. I don't know. Is it a bay
Yeah, there's a
in
bay there.
between?
Yeah, there's a bay there. I can't
So if
remember that.
a bay is not, I mean, how wide is the San Francisco Bay?
Hmm.
But you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not like a huge distance between.
Oh, hundreds and hundreds of miles or anything. No, I think it's just no, I think it could help the people of Cuba. I mean, I'd like to see them, and I don't want to see as many coming over here as if we've had. But of course, everybody who wanted to come over here pretty much has came over here from Cuba over the past 60 years or so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, but I've known. I remember the Mariel boat lift. That was not good for Florida initially. It
This
wasn't.
stuff was crazy.
It was. I mean, my brother was down there when it was going on. He was a truck driver, and he'd often end up in Florida. He goes, it was pretty awful. The waves of for crime were going on when they came in. But anyway, I hope that doesn't happen at this point. But it's and also yeah, I mean it's Venezuela, Cuba, and also Greenland yet. I guess what's going on there.
But did you see a story that we posted today about the UAW was going to host or organize a protest against ICE?
I,
And they said they had to cancel it because of safety issues. They didn't say what the safety issues were.
People are pissed off and might beat up somebody.
But do you think this is Flint, Michigan?
Right?
Do you think we really need ICE protest here?
No, no, no. I don't.
Do you think ICE might be here, but I I just don't know what the reasoning behind. I know people just don't want law enforcement on their they don't want the law enforcement that they got, but
Right.
we got to have it. I guess they don't want government. I mean, I know you don't want ICE.
No, I
I don't
don't.
want them patrolling our streets.
We're supposed to walk around with normal ID. Is that going to work? Or we're
But,
going to have a
but
passport.
what a sheriff said in Maine. I don't know if you've seen. They all got together because uh, their governor signed an executive order, or I don't. I think it might have been a bill where they can no longer hand over um, people to ICE.
Hmm. I mean,
And what they said, okay, what's going to happen now that we can't work with ICE and we can't hand over these criminals? We have to release them on the streets, and now they're going to go into homes with possibly more people, law-abiding people who are illegal because they don't have the proper papers,
right.
but they still have a job. They're doing things. They're a productive
Right.
member of society. But now because that criminal is in the house that they released, they're going to arrest everybody in that house
Yeah.
where these people may have lived out their whole entire life here without
Have an issue. Yeah.
an issue. I mean, they would have been illegal, but still nobody's bothering them because they're just living their best life.
Yeah, that's the problem is like we've allowed our government allowed that to get so bad that now there's enforcement is like, which direction are you going to take it?
But they're acting like these people on the streets when they can go and get the criminals. I mean, just think about it. There's enough criminals that are probably in jail. They could keep ICE busy
Yeah,
to where they wouldn't have to be on the streets.
right. They
They
just,
would just go to that jail. I mean, wouldn't you rather have that cush job
yeah,
of just going to the jail and doing prisoner transport
yeah, that's a lot easier.
than beating down doors and arresting a whole family and then putting all that stress on the little kids
A
and,
whole
and
hell of a lot,
everything
whole lot less, a lot riskier too for the long, that end of the
for
law enforcement.
everybody?
Yeah. Like, it's like, thank you for the federal government for not stepping up years ago. We have to deal with this though. I mean, it's going to be more of a burden on local, like you were saying, but the sheriff's deputies and stuff, this should not have to be worried about
But
that.
but like I said, the sheriffs got together and said, no, we're
Yeah.
still going to work with ICE
Yeah.
because we don't want ICE on our streets for the exact reasons I just
Right.
described.
Bring
to
them in
you.
and bring them in. So let them pick them up there. Yeah.
Pick them up there, and then the other people who are illegal doing the right. They may be illegal because they're undocumented, but they're doing the right thing.
Right.
They're not stealing. They're working. They're productive. And they're not bothering anybody other than they don't have documents to be
Visitation.
here.
Right. It's like another thing, but I just, I don't, I mean, it's like a hard thing because you got some people are really good, like you just outlined, and then you got some people who are criminal. They're always going to be criminal. They're here to take advantage of the people, and they take advantage of their own people a lot of times in those communities. The illegals and the good ones are basically like the mafia. They threaten them and intimidate the people who are from the same country, the same village or whatever. Towns. It's the criminals are always going to be criminals. I don't know. It's just, but it's bad.
We've known criminals.
Yeah, we know criminals. I mean, another thing is like people say, well, you think people like like you want people who are actually felons to live next door to you? What
We do. We do have felons living next door to us.
It's like I've had some of my best neighbors or people who served a long stretch in prison, and they came out. You couldn't get better neighbors because they didn't want to go back in.
Especially when you had problems,
Right.
they could settle it.
It's like, oh, I could take care of that for you. It's like, and that's okay.
Well, I didn't mean that kind
Yeah.
of problem. No, I'm just talking about disagreements in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's
All they'd have to do is show up, and people.
terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no, like I said, I knew a guy who had he spent years in prison. He's one of the nicest people, one of the busiest people. Finds any kind of job he can make a few bucks on, works his ass off. I mean, he didn't want to go back, and he's not going to do anything to jeopardize his freedom. So I mean, I don't know. Just because I guess the socioeconomic class I grew up in that far above poverty myself.
I've heard this,
Yeah,
even where on my side of town,
Right.
it was still felons.
yeah. Let's face it. Let's face it. They make so damn many laws. You could be doing something might be shady, but it's a felony. And all of a sudden you're getting charged with a felony. I mean, and so much of our actions we want to do are made illegal, even if they're not immoral. They're not going to harm anybody.
No, like marijuana. How stupid was that?
Well, it's ridiculous.
How stupid was the war on drugs?
Well, because we don't like what you're doing, we're going to put you in prison.
No, I said let people do it. If they die, it's on them.
That's what I don't understand. Like, like heroin. It's this is like some people suggested legalizing all drugs. They die, they die. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry.
I don't want people.
I don't want people to die,
No.
but if they're going to insist on doing it, why should we surrender all our rights so they can have this war on drugs?
But they found out that there's a way they can make money on addicts.
Well, yeah, because
They can give them a different drug.
right,
This is just as bad as the drug they were taking,
right.
but this drug is
It's
legal,
legal, yeah.
and they can charge the government for giving it to them.
Yeah, it's like that Woody Allen thing where they got a kid speaking. He goes, "I used to be a heroin addict. Now I'm a methadone addict."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said, there's no difference. I mean, this drug will kill you the same
I've
way.
seen them. They Jones.
Oh, yeah.
I worked as a security guard at a bank in Clio in the Hallwood Plaza.
Yeah.
And the methadone clinic was next door. They would keep on coming up to me. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Because I think they would take a lunch and they wouldn't open till like 2:00. And they would be in the store walking around just pacing because they had to go get their methadone.
Well, there's a guy that lived across next door to me. He was going back and forth to get methadone, and he'd come back after his visit to the methadone clinic and come out there and he'd sit on we had a bench all across the street from my house, and he lay there just looking at. He'd sit there and look at his arms for hours. I mean, he's like a total vegetative state almost. I mean, it was sad.
But they don't care because it's money.
Right.
It's money. They found a way to make money. hey, I got an idea. Let's give them this drug, and we'll just monitor them while we gave them this drug.
See what I
It
mean?
will have a, a lot of the same effects, but they won't get as high off it. I mean, I don't think they were supposed to get high off methadone because I think it's supposed to block receptors or something like that.
All I know is they're back pretty messed up on it still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No, they need it.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's not dealing with the addiction, it's just giving them something else to be
But
addicted
now
to, but
you're relying on government,
yeah, now you gotta come to
which is
us.
a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, well, that was just brought up in the conversation that, Henry Hatter talked about with his guest. I mean, he's like about making you dependent on the government. That's what these people want, so you can't have freedom. They don't want that. They don't want you to have
No,
freedom.
they and we know we've met they.
Yeah,
They's been in here
right. I just
when they were us,
right now
but then
now
now they're
they're
theys.
days, yep, and they're in the sphere.
And I just never understood that. When a person, I understand there's rules and laws, and you're supposed to obey the rules and laws and ordinance, but you're still a person, and they're still a person.
Right.
Why not? Why do you have to be an asshole just because? Why? I know you probably get sick of dealing with people after a while, but then maybe you shouldn't be in government if
Yeah.
that's the way you feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you want it, you're definitely going to be bothered by people by getting wanting something from you if you're in government. So if you don't want to be bothered by people, don't get in the government. I know the paycheck's attractive and the power's attractive, but otherwise, stay out of it. I mean, no, I mean, I get tired of it. Everything we want to do as humans, we have to now pass by some governmental body to make sure it's okay.
Everything.
Yeah,
Think about it. Things that you wouldn't even think about. That I mean, you want to have a little tiny bonfire in your backyard?
yeah.
Oh my God, the fire department could show up and put that out. And oh, by the way, charge you because for a run.
So,
That could end up being charged your house insurance.
so that's why I kind of like living in Flint because we don't have like a, when people say we want, more police on the streets, I'm glad in some ways they're not because all they would do is if you're walking around, they're going to have to find Anita while you're walking around. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, they're going to have this interaction. Every time you have an interaction with law enforcement, there's a greater
Well,
chance
and
for
the
something going on
problem
the
it
way.
is that some organization demand that their officers have X amount of interaction with the public per
Right.
day.
Right. And so they got to meet your quota and you're part of the
You
quota.
might, yeah, you might just be part of that quota.
And so guess what? If weapons, you had a bad day and you just slightly answer them tersely and now they're pissed off at you and they got the power to club you down or tase you or pepper spray you or whatever, then it's like, oh, you're facing trials. And
And look, I've been pulled over probably 5 times just because of being here late
Mhm.
or after dark, which
Yeah.
was 6 p.m., just driving back and forth to my house
Mhm. And
and giving a hard time. Why are you over here? And then finally explain to where that the church is over here.
yeah, and they just, well, yeah, that's like, why, I
And they
hate that.
pulled me over for no reason.
Yeah. It's like they weren't going, I mean, you weren't going too fast.
No.
I
Well,
mean,
one said that and it was true. What I did was I had a lawnmower in the car,
mhm.
and with when the trunk was up, something about the switch of the light, it wasn't coming on to light my license plate.
Oh.
That's why he pulled me over. Another time it was because I said I didn't use my blinker.
So, but it's all, to me, I would see it as a pretext. I think it's always a
Yeah,
pretext. Yeah. I don't know. I
but
mean,
I'm just saying, dark comes early.
yeah.
I mean, in the wintertime,
Right.
and that's when they pulled me over. I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't been pulled over lately because you don't see police.
It's like I hate to say that, but I mean, it's like every time I mean, I tell people this. It's like they say, "Well, it's just no big deal to show them your ID and all this, blah blah blah." You're surrendering your
No,
rights.
because they're looking.
Yeah,
I
and,
mean, they're taught that. I don't hold it against them. That's their job. They're told to do that.
but then again, there's what they're told to do because of the culture where they're working at, and also what we have as American citizens we have supposed to enjoy, or be able to have. So I mean, it's like when it's counter to that, then their training's wrong. They should be addressing that, and that's. I mean, I don't like.
It's only your experience is only going to be as good as the officer that pulled you over.
Exactly, and you guess it's a crapshoot. I mean, you're rolling the dice. You're out there. You don't know who you're going to run
I
into.
mean, I've been pulled over before for speeding, and then they talk to me for a minute and find out that I'm in the military or whatever, and let me go
Yeah, see,
with a warning. I mean, I've had good interactions with police,
well,
but
that's
I've had interactions where I wasn't too happy.
yeah. I mean, if also like what I don't like though is the assumption you're guilty of something really bad.
Well,
because
I tell
if
you the old story about a police sniper taking an exam or a mental exam with the psychiatrist. Psychiatrist says, "Okay, you got the target in your sights, and you look and you see that it's your mother. What do you feel?" And he said, "Trigger squeeze."
oh God, that's cold blood. Wow, it's like what the hell did his mom raise? No, but I mean, I'm serious, man. I just
He's just doing his job.
yeah, just I just did okay when you're in the military. Did that become like the overarching thing? Oh, I got to do my duty. Got to do my duty.
No, we were taught to investigate when, I mean, if it's civilians,
Right.
not, but if we could identify that there were enemy or what we considered enemy, then no, we already had our orders,
Right. So
our rules of engagement. We knew what we could do by those rules of engagement were like written by a lawyer.
yeah, and you get very procedural too.
Right.
Next step, next step, next step. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the people I've had run-ins with cops, and the ones I've had better run-ins with were the people who had been in the military because they value
But
the
usually
rights.
they don't make it
Right.
in law enforcement
Because it's too
because there's nothing worse than there's nothing worse than somebody who's been in the military than somebody that wanted to be in the military.
okay, that's good. I knew one guy who was actually a pretty good cop for all accounts. He had served in two tours in Vietnam. Much older guy now. He's retired for several years, like 10, 12 years now from the Flint PD. But he did have a much more measured approach
But
to
you get in
people.
trouble because in the military you're taught to make decisions on your own. They don't want
No, they don't want
law
that.
enforcement doesn't want you making decisions on your own because sometimes making decision on your own gets you in trouble and the department in trouble.
Another thing is probably you don't get the fines or the funds, the money
No,
to put
I
in. Yeah,
wouldn't give anybody. I'd give everybody a warning.
yeah, it's just
Wouldn't you?
yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, unless you're
Because they're gonna just being pulled over is gonna. I mean, even I get shaken, not shaken up, but a little bit nervous when I get pulled over.
yeah, because if you have a conscience, and the people who have a conscience are going to say, "I shouldn't have done what I did. What
I
did I
don't
do?"
know what
Yeah. You ever read the trial by Kafka? He's summoned to meet these people in a court. He's there. He's in a courtroom. It's very very much a courtroom, but he's never told what he's accused of. And now he's walking around and he sees people watching him. And he turns out these two people are following him, and it feels like he's being watched all the time. And it basically eventually he said crumbles because of the pressure of always being more scrutinized. Or the threat, the feeling that's always happening. It's quite a good story. He kind of foretells not foresees the event of a real draconian state, but it was a really well written. If you have a chance to read it, read it. It's a really good story.
So
Show.
what ends up happening?
Oh, but do you want to give away the story?
Yeah,
Eventually, he ends up killing himself because of the pressure on him. So I think that's what it was. Yeah, he ends up killing himself, and because he's got two novels that are real similar, The Castle and the Trial. But basically, he allows himself to be killed because he allows himself to be killed because he thinks he's guilty, and even though he doesn't know what he's guilty of, he's sure that he deserves death or something. It's a real bizarre story. But yeah, I haven't read it in 25 years. Should reread it, but don't quote me on that. I'll go back and read it or get the summary of it. But yeah, basically the persecution, and he anticipated that was going to go on in the the surveillance state. Right now, that kind of existence now is probably more possible than we ever had before.
Oh, of course. Especially, I mean, I think they tabled it. Our board of commissioners were looking at getting that camera,
The plot.
the Flock. And I guess they tabled it, especially when Flock had, because then one of them brought it up that they were trying that dog thing. Let's find your dog.
Yeah,
That people were getting rid of Amazon, so Amazon said, "We'll get rid of that dog thing too."
yeah. It's like yeah. See, well, no, that's always a good thing. If you live under a microscope, it's probably a good thing because they're going to find out something might be coming on you. But guess what? I don't want to live with that much attention on myself. I don't think they do. Look at how the politicians react when
But
you
the
find out
average
they do.
person doesn't think of when they put up a Ring doorbell
Right.
that they're going to be providing security for, or they're going to be providing evidence for the police.
Right. And I wouldn't want that on my shoulders. I mean, if it's going to be used for good
Although I
sometimes.
do know a lady who was saved by Ring doorbell cameras.
I mean, like from like an attack or something, or
No, the person that they said was her,
yeah.
what you could clearly see that it wasn't her
So yeah, so there's
because they've got the Ring doorbell footage.
so there's yeah, there's good time. I mean, let's face it. If you say so, the cops stop you and he said, "Where were you?" And I was
Yeah,
at a
that's what
store.
he did.
Yeah.
He was trying to use that, say that she did something, but the Ring doorbell footage showed differently.
So I guess it could save you, but it's a crapshoot again. I mean, it's you just it could go fall about either way, on
But do
that.
you think it's right that I know you I don't know if you do or not, but say you have a Ring doorbell that I know which way that the street runs in front of your house, and
Right.
that something happened at a certain time, and I see that you have a Ring doorbell, that I go and try to get that footage from that day, and I don't go to you, I go to Ring,
That's not good.
and
No.
they don't let you know that they
Give it
gave your footage.
that's not good. I mean, I don't like that. I mean, it's like, but I guess when you sign up for the thing, it's one of the things you probably allow
Who
yourself to
knows?
be.
These what are they? ELUAs? I forget what that stands for, but you get that whole thing that
Yeah.
you agree to.
Yeah. The list of like a list of the agreement,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a ELUA,
That's what it comes to my mind too, but I can't may be wrong about that.
but
But yeah.
they get longer and longer, and there's no way you can understand it.
Tiny last print. It looks
And
like
it's
an
written
ant.
by a lawyer.
Yeah. Like maybe we should just like take some, enlarge it, take
Instead of
pictures of it.
saying you agree to give up your footage, it takes 3 paragraphs
Yeah.
to explain what first they gotta explain what the footage is,
Right.
and then they gotta go and explain how the footage is captured and how it's stored, and so it ends up what my little sentence is, you can give up or whatever, we can position your footage and give it to law enforcement without your permission, but if you read it, you wouldn't understand it
It's like
because it's like a page of discovering that.
total legalese, and even lawyers going to sometimes create. It's a special. That's a
And
special
that's
area too.
why I don't think if you're a lawyer, you shouldn't be able to be a politician.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I
you
mean,
did.
you shouldn't understand lawyer speak.
Mhm.
If-
That's a good. That's a
And
good.
then things would have to be written in a way that people could read it.
Unfortunately, we're just the reverse, and most people who go into, especially on
No,
a
because they
national level.
love hiding shit.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do they hide shit? How many times do they hide things in bills from people?
Well, look, we had a friend who was a lawyer who got screwed over in another like a legal document he didn't have experience with because he didn't know how to address it. I mean, he was a lawyer, and he still got the short end of the stick. So I mean, and he was in practice for several years. So if it's not a niche area for you as a lawyer, a lot of times it can get over because the wording's different, or that's the problem. They can make everything good. So everything's legal. You can make everything legal. Even horrific stuff can be legal. Like Nuremberg, the laws, in Germany for Nazi era, not be, the trials afterwards. But we talk about um, everything. All thinking about hatred against the Jews and the persecution of them was legal. It wasn't moral, but it was legal. There's a distinction. People think, well, it's a law. It doesn't make the law moral. There's a distinction between that. So, yeah. Anyway, want to play the music?
Anything, I'm trying to think. What did you think of the state address
Um, I,
about? She still hit us up with more taxes in there.
yeah. Oh, me? Oh, you talk about Whitmer? Yeah,
Whitmer.
Whitmer. Okay, I was like to State of the Union. I was going
She
to.
hit us up with even more
Yeah,
taxes.
I got more. I want to get to. I got a good idea how we can spend more money. Yeah, I just can't stand the woman.
We've got a tax for the
Tax.
tax now.
Yeah, I was like, well, she did. I heard she wanted to increase our utility bill tax,
That's happening.
and then on top of the.
Well, I mean, you've seen the greater whatever it is, water, whatever it is, in one July they're raising our water rates.
Yeah, and water rates.
We're just getting taxed every time we turn around in this state.
It's like, the thing is, and things aren't getting better. The
No.
money's not going to where they're saying it's supposed to be allocated for. We know that. I mean, didn't she run on the premise of, well, even they said,
Fix the roads, damn it.
yeah, fix the roads, damn. And then that's like, then this guy said when she said that she had no comprehensive plan or even a basic plan about how to accomplish that. That was just a buzz phrase.
Sounded good to me.
It's like, yeah, fix the roads. It's something we can all agree
Although
on.
I think our roads are pretty good around here for the most part.
Well, like maybe on the
The main roads are pretty
yeah,
good.
they've done some improvements on those, but she's had what
The
five.
roads aren't horrible.
Well, down here, though, they're pretty bad.
I mean, maybe that's the city of Flint's
Yeah, city
fault.
of
That's
Flint.
not the state's fault.
Well, then again, like, some people started to say, "Well, look at the highways improved." I said, "A lot of the highways is federal funds and federal action, isn't not just hers."
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they're under the state. The state gets the monies and decided how they're gonna, what roads they're gonna fix first.
well, I guess she chose correctly. Then I guess some people are happy with it, but no, I mean, I think that some of the roads around here are horrible. In Flint, the city of Flint, but then again, that would be on the city or the county, right? It would be the city. But there's always issue there. I mean,
There's city, county, and state.
and it's hard for the individual to figure because they take it to court to
I mean,
argue about it.
remember, was it me and you that was talking to Don Williamson asking about last,
Yeah,
and he explained that, okay, if it's a city road, yeah, it's pretty easy to get the stoplight. I think we were asking why do we have a stoplight at somewhere where it didn't make any sense. And then he said, "Well, okay, now if that road is crossed by a county road, you just did it by one time.
right.
If it's crossed by a state road, if the state road is in it, then it's three different levels of BS that you got to go through to get that stoplight taken out of there, and everybody's got to agree, and the chances of that happening is 0 to none.
Because there is like a there's
Right.
like
And then when they
there,
do agree, they have to agree to who's going to pay to do it.
right. So it's like basically very turf driven. This is my turf. That's your
Yeah,
turf. Yeah, it's very turf driven, very ego driven, and ultimately we're not being served correctly by that. But
never.
I mean, it's like always they don't create anything that helps us so much. Matter of fact, if they're convening, they like Adam Smith said, the capitalists are always going to meet to conspire against the general public. That's why lawyers, I'm not lawyers, but politicians are. They're not coming there together to help us out. They're finding a way to screw us
And to stay in office.
and to stay in office. Yeah, because wait, see, now you got all this in place, and I help put it in. I'm going to show you how you can map, of course, so you can get out like a labyrinth. I hold the key. That's what it is. I mean, they're
I mean, every time we dealt with government, we got screwed.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, especially like just paying the taxes on the church.
right.
When we went down there and found out what I paid an extra $75
Yeah,
or something because I didn't bring the funds, and
yeah, because you didn't have bring.
when I guess I could have went and got the money and brought it back, but
Yeah, but because you used a credit card or debit card.
well, I mean, I paid for
Right.
it. I was using the debit card
Right.
from my bank account.
Right, and but they want
I
to
mean, should you have to pay to use your debit card
no, no, you
to
shouldn't.
give them money?
No, because but they said, well, we incur costs, not that damn much. I
They
guarantee you.
did.
Well,
It
look
was
at the
BS.
well, look at the small business. Whether you go to like a flea market or something, they have that card where you can where the place where you
Yeah.
can swipe. They're not getting charged $75 a transaction for people buying stuff. They get what, a couple of bucks tacked on there.
Well, that's
Yeah,
into
yeah.
what you just paid for. You paid for
Right,
that fee
right.
in whatever you bought.
But see, $75 is outrageous. But
No, it's no, and plus it's third party.
right,
They use a third party, and every municipality uses the same system.
yeah, that could yeah, I seen that.
One company collects all the water bills for the state of Michigan.
And it's
How is that possible?
why can't they do it here, right where it's at? We got people here working. We've got people in these offices, right?
And that's who we were paying that money to. We weren't paying that money to the city.
No,
We were paying it to that place that collects the money for the city.
and sometimes it might not get there or not. Who knows? Who knows? I have a question about that. I mean, another thing is too, a lot of times I'll pay property tax. I've done this a couple of times. I pay property tax here. I thought I got it clear. Then I'll get a delinquent bill for the additional 75, $100. I already thought I paid for it. It's happened two times to me in the past few years. I went down with the money or whatever, and nope, you had to get a bill later.
Nothing worse than dealing with government.
No, I mean that's like basically that you've got to because they have so much power over you.
Even
they can
okay,
make life
look,
over you.
even the Secretary of State, you still have to make appointments.
Yeah,
Is that stupid?
yeah, and because they never eased up from the COVID restrictions. That's
They love it. They love that you have to make an appointment you have to go there on their time.
yeah.
You
That's-
have to make time on their time to go there. Does that make sense?
No, I mean it's like they're forcing us to do this, and then they're going to try to bottleneck that even further.
Oh, and then if you work,
Right?
and then if you didn't know that, and you go there because they don't make their policies known to everybody when they change things. I mean, they might on the website, but how many people go to the website before they go? And good luck trying to call and get the information.
Oh yeah, that's a. One day I was trying to call something locally, and I said, "Screw it!" I just went down there. It was downtown. I just went downtown. I couldn't get anybody to answer the damn phone. I mean,
Well, because they were working.
Yeah, that's what they think. That's what they
Mhm.
like us to think. No, they're probably back having a party and they didn't want to answer the phone, so they put them on they answered, going to a voicemail. But anyway, that's what so our gripes about government and everything else, I guess.
Yeah,
Play the music.
sure.
All right.